This is a sign, a serious sign, a critical sign, pointing that there are people in Nigeria who have the ability to do and undo. Welcome once again to this channel. If you've been on this platform, I'm sure you must have heard about Atiku Abubakar health condition, and also the information that came out about the coup that Atiku and some Fulani military generals were plotting against election. Atiku vowed, he said, if I do not win, Nigeria must go down. Military must take over. Do you know that Atiku does not have any chance anymore? If Atiku does not win now, Atiku cannot vie for that position anymore. Maybe Atiku's child or grandchild in Fulani Republic. Maybe. But if Atiku fails, that is the end of it. So this election is a do or die affair. The Department of State Services decided to invite the spokesperson of Bola Tinubu and Shettima Campaign Council, Fani Kayode, over claims that the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, met with some service chiefs, military generals, and the meeting in the middle of the night was a plan to hijack government. Yes. Fani Kayode was the one who released this information. And you know that Fani Kayode has ears everywhere. He goes to eat everywhere. You know, Fani Kayode visits everywhere. He tries to glean information. He went to Sunday Igboho's home acting like he was having some compassion, but he went there to glean, gather information. This is what this man does. He is a professional in gathering information, particularly when you give him food. He will work for you, like what Obasanjo told us. He was the one that released this information, and I want to believe this information. Yes, Mr. Atiku Abubakar, former Vice President of Nigeria, knows fully well that it will be difficult for him to become President of Nigeria. He knows that APC is holding their ground strong, and he knows that Labour Party is there. He has seen it all. He knows that governors in PDP that are supposed to help him canvass their states for him to win election are not ready. He knows that the North only cannot give him what he wants. He knows this. So what else? What else is needed to be done? He quickly called on corrupt military officers, called them together and asked them to join hands together with me to hijack if I do not win. Well, confirming his invitation on social media, Fani Kayode wrote, 3 days ago, on the day that I tweeted about newspaper reports alleging that Atiku was secretly meeting with army generals, I got a text message from someone who claimed to be DSS asking me to report to them on a matter of national security. Prior to this, the military spokesperson already came out to issue a disclaimer. They said, no, there is nothing like that. We respect the rule of law. We respect the Nigerian constitution. We cannot do this. We never met with anybody who is a candidate to discuss, to do this and that. They just presented the story in a certain way that people felt there is something about this. This is not real. This talk you are coming up with is not confirmed. It's not real. It's not true. You are trying to play games. It is a game that you are trying. You are not being sincere with this, your utterances. Nigerians are worried. This election, what is really going to happen? That is the talk. Well, Fani Kayode said, I dismissed the invitation because it was vague. I was not sure whether it really came from the DSS. In any case, I had no intention of going anywhere unless I was formally invited. Written invitation To my surprise, I received a formal letter from them to report to their office without fail 2 days later, which was yesterday evening. I put a call through to them, and I was advised to take the matter very seriously and report to them on the stipulated day and time. Otherwise, the worst may happen. I found it interesting that a call came from one of Atiku's dogs for me to be arrested by the security agencies yesterday. And had it not been for the fact that the DSS had actually sent a text to me 2 days earlier, I may have thought they were acting on the instructions of what can only be described as a hopeless and desperate presidential candidate. Opposition party and PCC who are clutching at straws, drowning fast, seeking to silence those that give them sleepless nights, shivering in despair and staring defeat in the face in the upcoming presidential election. Clearly, the DSS were not influenced by Atiku and were simply doing their job by inviting me on a matter that needs explanation and clarification and for a thorough interrogation. And of course, being a responsible and law-abiding citizen, I will present myself before them accordingly. Unlike cowards like Emefiele, Atiku, and their strange bedfellows, I do not fear my own shadow, neither do I shiver and shake when I'm invited by the security agencies. I always honor their invitations when properly invited because that is the right and proper thing to do. So he's beginning to butter the whole thing. He knows that anything can happen. He knows that he himself is disposable. Yes. This, he went on, is all the more so when it touches and concerns matter of national security, which I take very seriously, and when it involves agencies like the DSS who are professional and thorough in their method and approach. I have nothing to hide, and consequently, I will present myself before the DSS this morning as I have been asked to do. I maintain my utter contempt for Atiku and the vermin that are around him, and no matter what happens to me today or at any other time, know that as long as there is life in me, I will oppose the darkness and evil art they represent. I am used to arrest, interrogation, detention, prosecution, and so much more, and I have suffered these indignities on many occasions over the last 15 years. I, Fani, Kayode, have no fear. Nothing moves me, and only death can silence me. The most important thing now is not what happens to me, but rather achieving a noble quest to ensure the election of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as our next president. This is the mission that we must focus on because that is the only way to save our country. I hope that I will be at liberty and free to continue to play my role in the quest. But if I am not and I'm detained indefinitely or till the election is over, so be it. In such circumstances, be rest assured that I'll be praying fervently for Asiwaju victory from inside. Aha. So Femi Kayode is actually going to speak to them, and he knows what can happen. Now, what is the essence of this? I'm just letting you see the reach of Atiku, the military, and the DSS. The DSS simply listened to the military when they said that this has to be dealt with by the appropriate authorities. And when someone speaks about overtaking, hijacking government, of course, it is the duty of the DSS to want to call the person, to question the person about this. But the talk right now is this: what will become of Femi Kayode once he steps into the custody of the Department of State Services? Will Atiku not tell them to deal with him, or the military say, this nonsense guy, you want to destroy our plans? We had a meeting and you want to open it up. You must be dealt with. You must be dealt with seriously. You must be dealt with. You think you can open your mouth when food is given to you and you want to talk? But let us look at it critically. Is it not possible that Atiku Abubakar can sit down with generals, with service chiefs, Fulanis, to think of the best way after Buhari to hijack government, and they will pass it to him as interim military, interim civilian, or they will end up saying he's the one that won the elections or something, because these people are so desperate. They've come to their last point in life. Look at Atiku Abubakar. Look at Tinubu. I'm very sure that the next 8 years, they cannot come back to do the same thing they are doing now, where would the strength be for them to come out to start fighting to become president? It is not possible. This is their last time moment. In fact, I'm not wishing anyone death. I'm trying to tell you something very, very clear, that by the time Tinubu, if he is able to finish his time, a lot of people would have died. I mean, people that you know, people who were there during the Civil War, people who are still there, who call themselves elder statesmen, many of them would have passed away. And you, 8 years would have been added to your year. So it's very important that we pay attention to these things. Don't forget to like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. For those who are returning subscribers, for those who are here with us, I say thank you for being here.